That's good.
Yeah. We got some questions today.
Oh, good. All set?
I think well.
Okay. I'll put this old dead cat. Okay, kitty. What's his name anyway?
I know, come up with one.
Straggly.
Straggler.
That's old Straggly hanging up there. Look like him and Hercom have been in a fight. Do you have that thing focused or do you even have it turned on?
Oh, it was on. I was just...
Yeah, hi Leroy, this is John in Bar Harbor. I just wanted to ask you, how do you guys keep all your buoys from getting tangled up? And how many traps do you put on a buoy? Thank you.
John, the first rule is that you always check to see which way the tide is running before you throw your trap overboard. You can either go one way or the other if the tide is falling or coming. You can tell by the way the buoy and the float is headed. So you set your trap accordingly so that it goes away from the one that you see in the water. Now, if they get congested, the best thing to do is to give them some room. Move off, give them some room, give yourself some room. If you've got 30, 40 fathom ropes, there's a lot of unwinding to do. Because when the tide runs one way, it'll wind them one way, and then when it runs the other way, it'll wind them the other way. It doesn't unwind them, they just keep winding up. It's a lot of work. For nothing. For nothing. So, been my experience, just move off. Go somewhere else. In the summer, sometimes that's pretty hard to do, but I've always managed. And I've managed to go through my whole gang in a day without hardly have maybe one snarl all day long. So, not too hard to do. The legal number of traps that you can fish inside the 3 mile limit is 3 on a line, or triples, and no more than that, because you need like 10 fathom between each trap. And just because there's a lot of traps in one area doesn't mean that there's a lot of lobsters in that area. So you give yourself your room, think out of the box a little bit, and I think you will be a happy fisherman. You won't have to untangle traps all day. Not much profit in it. And the other fishermen don't like it as well, so it's very easy to avoid. Thank you for your question.
Hi, Leroy. This is Andrew from Long Island, New York. Before rubber bands were used, how were lobster claws secured? Thanks. Really enjoy the series. Bye-bye.
Andrew from Long Island. Going to answer your question. Before the bands came into use, we started with wooden pegs, and we pegged the thumb on the lobster right into the cartilage right at the base of the thumb on the outside. We pushed the peg in there so the thumb couldn't open. Okay? The wood, after it had been in the lobster for a while and you cooked it, would turn the meat black on the outside edge. Wasn't very appetizing when you went to the restaurant and bought a $30 lobster and the meat was black, you couldn't eat it. So they refrained from that. They thought that they could remedy that by going to a plastic plug or insert. The plastic did the same thing. So then they came up with the rubber band. Rubber band's been around for quite some time. I'd say probably late 60s, early 70s. Okay? Hope that answers your question.
Hey, Leroy. It's Pat from Surrey. I was wondering if you could tell us a good joke. Thanks, Leroy.
Yeah, I was out halibut fishing one day, got a big halibut. Hauled him up to the rail and lost him. Pulled the hook. And the guy says to me, he says, how much did the fish weigh? I said, 500 pounds. He said, well, how did you know how much he weighed? I said, he had scales right on his back.
That's a good joke.
Yeah.
I like that.
Remember that joke now, Pat.
That's great.
Got any more?
Let's see.
Hi, my name is Ben from Mapster Island, and I just want to know if there's been any turf wars in the waters. All right, thank you.
Yeah, when somebody gets crazy, foolish, and doesn't like somebody, they'll blame somebody else for doing something that they never did, and that will start a turf war. Everybody loses. Because you go out and cut off a couple of 100 traps, there's lobsters in those traps. If they're never found, the lobsters die. So who wins in that case? And these guys are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and everybody loses, because a lot of times an innocent man is pegged for it. I've found that the best thing over the years is when you first start fishing, mind your own business. If you find somebody's trap that's snarled with yours, instead of cutting it off, call him, tell him what you're doing, take the time, and you've made a friend instead of an enemy. So good advice is to mind your own business, and you'll make a lot of friends instead of a lot of enemies. Good advice for life. You'll always be able to go fishing and don't have to look over your shoulder. Yeah. What we got now, Tate?
Well, that was it for questions for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. If you want to call in with your questions, we'd appreciate them. No dumb question. Only dumb question is the one you didn't ask and wish you did. You call in 224-58-LEROY. So we're going to do a little clamming here today. And my old friend here, Herbie Carter, you see these holes in the mud? That's where the clam lives.
I shoved my hand in there, pulled out that clam was that long. Wow. And I've been doing that now for 60-some years.
Well, I'm pointing to the hole.
Oh, the hole pointer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's half meal right there.
Signing off, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun.
Yeah, been fun.